All right, sometimes the data comes back conclusive, and sometimes it's a little tougher to find the sharp angle on the games. In this segment of Fanalysis, we're looking at the games the pros are leaning towards. Frank Stampfl of Sports Grid is here to help separate the leans of the week. And let's start things off with the Chiefs. 4-point home dogs to the Packers. It is uncommon to call the Chiefs a home dog, but without Patrick Mahomes, they're going to be relying on Pat Shurmur's son at quarterback. The line, the look-ahead line, I should say, on this one was Chiefs -4. Does that mean that Mahomes is really worth 8 points? That's a big number.
Yeah, if there's any quarterback in the NFL that's worth that massive amount, it is Patrick Mahomes. I mean, he is a generational player. He is, going to be one of these quarterbacks that we're talking about for a long, long time. So that doesn't surprise me that the line has moved that far. And right now, I mean, people are betting on the Packers. 70% of the bets right now coming in on the Packers. But I'm looking at this home dog, and Matt Moore is not Patrick Mahomes. I understand that. But he still does have Tyreek Hill and still has Travis Kelce on this team. And the way to beat the Green Bay Packers is running the football. They've been abysmal this year, 4.99 yards per carry to opposing running backs. That is the highest amount in the NFL. They're allowing 129 rushing yards per game. I think right now the Packers are a little bit overvalued, Steve, because they have played 5 of their last 6 games at home, and they've performed very well at home. I don't want to take anything away from the Green Bay Packers, but I think based on them playing all those games at home and playing well in those spots, they're kind of being a little bit overvalued here as well. So Matt Moore, not Patrick Mahomes, but still going to get the ball in the hands of elite weapons in Travis Kelce and Tyreek Hill.
And we can even bring back a stat from the Packers last week when their, I guess their home and away splits is about an 8-point difference between their value on the road versus at home. So now that they're going to be on the road, you see this as a giant opening here for the Chiefs to be able to take that step.
Yeah, and home dogs are usually trendy picks, but not against the Packers here because they are such a public team, and so many people like to bet on Aaron Rodgers. And it's just not sexy to bet on Matt Moore right now, if we're being honest. But let's talk about the Chiefs' defense as well. I mean, their secondary has played well. They're allowing just 228.6 passing yards per game. That's 10th best in the NFL. So I think if you ask a lot of people coming into the season, they wouldn't have expected this Chiefs defense to be playing as well as they are, especially against the pass.
All right, one of the surprises of the NFL, the Bills given 2 at home against Philadelphia. 67% of the money is on Buffalo, and Buffalo has covered the spread in 4 of their 6 games this year. Is that a measurable that pros are paying close attention to, how they do against the spread this year?
Absolutely. I mean, you have to take all these things into account, but we're talking about against the spread right now, betting on teams. And the Buffalo Bills have been one of the more profitable teams so far this season. They have had a light schedule so far, Steve, but the Philadelphia Eagles have a lot going on right now, and this Bills defense is one of the best in the NFL. They're allowing just 4.7 yards per play on defense. That's the 3rd best, while the Eagles are allowing an entire yard more on a per-play basis, 5.7 yards per play allowed. And normally, what you can hang your hat on with the Philadelphia Eagles is that they have a really good run defense. They've allowed over 300 rushing yards over their last 2 games. So now we're talking about a Buffalo Bills team that has one of the best run blocking offensive lines in the league. They are #1 in adjusted line yards. I think Frank Gore is going to have some success. Josh Allen is going to get out of the pocket. He's going to make plays with his legs. The rookie Devin Singletary is very explosive as well. And that all sets up the play action pass game for John Brown, who's one of the speediest receivers in the league. And that's actually the worst part of this Eagles defense. Is allowing big plays, explosive plays on defense. So I think all of that kind of culminating together is leading to the Buffalo Bills in this spot.
Bigger surprise this year, the Bills or the Colts?
Yeah, I would lean with the Colts just based on, losing your franchise quarterback a month before the season, even less than that, and performing the way they have. I think, you just kind of tip your cap to how well Frank Reich has coached up Jacoby Brissett and his Colts team. But I don't want to take anything away from the Bills. They have had a soft schedule.
Okay, soft schedule is one thing, but you win in the NFL, that's a big win. The Dolphins, as we stay in the AFC East, 14-point underdogs in Pittsburgh. It's not unusual for Miami to be a 2-touchdown dog. This is a Mason Rudolph-led Steelers team. Do the Sharps see 14 points as too big?
Yeah, this line actually opened up with Miami getting 17 points. I understand this game is in Pittsburgh, and it's on Monday Night Football. I don't know who set up the primetime schedule, but we've got to have a talk with that guy because now we have the Miami Dolphins playing.
They need to start flexing out some of these Monday night games,
It's about time,
because
Steve, because I don't know what's going on, but the Miami Dolphins are on primetime again, Monday Night Football. And look, they just went into Buffalo. We just talked about the Bills, one of the better defenses in the NFL, and they outgained the Buffalo Bills, 381 total yards to 305. The Dolphins' defense is bad. Yes, they are 32nd in yards per play on defense, but the Pittsburgh Steelers' offense has mustered 270 total yards or less in 4 of the last 5 games. So the Steelers' defense is playing well, and I respect them for that, but I cannot be laying 2 touchdowns with Mason Rudolph as the starting quarterback in the NFL.
And what you just saw right there was Miami's covered for 2 straight weeks. Can you believe that?
Well,
they're not winning games.
And I was talking about the Buffalo Bills last week, and then
Right.
the Miami Dolphins surprised me. But yes, they have covered 2 weeks in a row. I think Ryan Fitzpatrick actually has this offense playing a little bit better.
Well, you have a veteran like that under center, and maybe there's just a little bit more confidence. And here in New York, we're very familiar with Fitz magic. So we'll see if he can do a little bit more of that in Miami. And speaking of New York, the Jets getting 6.5 in Jacksonville. There's a reason why the Jets have the record they have, but the Sharps are on their side this week to the tune of 77% of the money. Do the metrics lean towards the Jets on this one as well?
I think so. I think it's a good matchup for them in the sense that they can finally get Le'Veon Bell going. The Jacksonville Jaguars are 27th in the NFL in run defense DVOA. They're allowing 4.87 yards per carry to opposing running backs. And I think if there's any way to slow down a pass rush like the Jacksonville Jaguars have, it's by running the football. And I think that Le'Veon Bell is going to have some success here. I would like to see the Jets start throwing the ball to Le'Veon Bell more as well. The look-ahead line on this game was the Jets were getting 4 points on the road. And because of everything that happened on Monday Night Football, Steve, this line got jacked up to 5.5, and now in some spots you're getting it at 6 as well. So you can even wait, because I think that this line is going to continue to climb, and then you can jump on the Jets a little bit later on as well. But Gardner Minshew over the past 2 weeks completing just 47.5% of his throws, and it's a tough matchup for Leonard Fournette. You know the Jaguars want to run the football. The Jets are allowing just 3.29 yards per carry to opposing running backs. They have actually been pretty good in that regard. So I think it's a tough matchup all around for the Jaguars. It just comes down to which Jets team shows up.
Sometimes you can take a look at the metrics, and that can help you, I guess, determine which side you want to be on. Sometimes you have to listen to what some of the players are saying. And this week, Le'Veon Bell, in a way, almost called out the coaches and says that I think that we need to get the ball into my hands out of the backfield. I'd like to start lining up a little more wide a few times. I'd like to get the ball in pass plays a little bit more. When a player calls out the coaches in a way like that to the media, does that seem to open the door for him to have a bigger game?
Yeah, I think so, and I think you can point to the Minnesota Vikings earlier this season, right? The squeaky wheel gets the oil. Adam Thielen calls out his quarterback, Kirk Cousins. The next game, Adam Thielen has a monster game. Stephon Diggs does the same thing. Now look what Stephon Diggs has done. He's had 3 straight games of over 100 yards receiving. So I think there is something to that. It's not uncommon. I mean, there are a lot of, big personalities in the NFL, and Le'Veon Bell to this point has, mostly, kept his mouth shut.
Quiet,
and he's been a team player, and I commend him for that. And I agree with him. He should be getting the ball more than he is right now, specifically in the pass game.
All right, breakout game for Le'Veon. That's a good DFS nugget. All right, that is a look at Frank's leans. Make sure you check out his segments on top plays and the toss-up segments. For Frank Stampfl of Sports Grid, I'm Steve Overmyer. This is Fanalysis.